receive, then we're just giving to get the gift.
Mm-hmm.
Not giving to get a blessing, not giving thinking, we're going to go to heaven one of these days, we won't need anything.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing is we're laying up treasures for that. That's when we give. We give out not out of our own needs, but we give because the need is there, not because we need something.
Mm-hmm.
But he said never give that way. Any questions or comments? Anybody? But he said, their judgment now for a long time lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. For if God, now listen to this, verse 4, for if God spared not the angels that sinned, but cast them down to hell, and delivered them into chains of darkness to be reserved unto judgment, and spared not the old world, but saved Noah the eighth person, a creature of righteousness, bringing in the flood upon the world of the ungodly, and turning the cities of Sodom and Gomorrah into ashes, condemned them with an overthrow, making them an example, same thing, that those that after should live ungodly, and delivered just Lot, vexed with the filthy conversation of the wicked. For that righteous man dwelled among them, and seeing and hearing vexed his righteous soul from day to day with their unlawful deeds. The Lord knoweth how to deliver the godly out of temptations, and to reserve the unjust to the day of judgment to be punished. Now, he went through all that to tell you that God doesn't change. God always hates the same thing God always hates. God always loves the same thing God, he said, he doesn't change. And if he didn't spare the angels that sin, and he didn't spare the whole world during Noah's day, and he just spared Lot during the Sodom and Gomorrah, these people will get their reward one of these days. They're going to get their judgment. That's what it said. He said it's been a long time coming, but it's going to happen because God didn't change. God didn't change what he likes and what he doesn't like. And covetous has always been a sin. It's one of the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not covet.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's going on. What should be done, if you think about Jesus, when Jesus gave examples of money, of talking about finances and those kind of things, he said that there was a man that had a lot of goods, and he said he found a pearl of great price, and he got rid of everything he had to get the pearl. Well, the pearl was God's wisdom and God's judgment and God's love and God's blessing and getting saved and getting the whole. That's the great pearl is in here. So he got rid of all this worldly stuff so he could have this. Well, you've got the opposite of that going on, where they're saying if you can get this, then you can get all the worldly stuff. And then if you think about what they did during the book of Acts when they were trying to get the church started, it plainly tells you that they got rid of the worldly goods and donated the money to the church. Not the other way around. Not go to church so I can get some stuff. But that's what you've got teaching. It's the backwards of what they said. And when they brought the money to Jesus, they said, should we pay our taxes or not? He said, whose picture's on that money? Caesar. He said, well, give to Caesar what's Caesar. Give to God what's God's. Well, let me tell you, God doesn't need our money.
No.
He does not need it. We give, not give to receive, but we give because the need is there.
Amen.
That's why we give, because the need is there.
Amen.
Not so that we can get 100-fold back.
Uh-huh.
We do get 100-fold back a lot of the time, but sometimes we might not get anything.
Right.
Or it might be 10 years from now before the harvest comes in.
Mm-hmm.
You don't plant corn today and tomorrow go out and shuck them down and put them in a pot.
Uh-huh.
It takes a few days for the plant to come up and to make fruit and to be ready for harvest time. But God, they put this thing out there so that they can get. It's all about getting from you, so I can get what I want, not what I need. There's no way that any minister on this earth needs 6 homes.
That's right.
And 10 cars and 6 Harley Davidsons in the garage. There's no way. That money should have been used, should be used to further the gospel, to help the needy, to help the poor, in the homeless shelter, give to the Salvation Army. Somebody should have that money. So they can further the gospel, to get people saved. That's what we should be spending the money for, is getting people saved and getting them in the kingdom. Because all this stuff down here is not going to matter. When we die, we're not going to take none of it with us.
And Brother Dole, we don't have to look too far to see a need. We don't have to send it to a TV
No.
for them to see the need. We can see the need ourselves.
Amen.
I mean, I don't know how many homeless, I've never seen homeless up on the gospel, but y'all might have. But now you go to Nashville, and there's a lot of homeless people. And you might say, well, they got their stuff in this. It's not for us to judge. You know how people got themselves where. I mean, they're out there, and, you know, I don't know how they take it in the cold. There is a mission down there, but there needs to be more. But you don't have to look too far to see a need in our communities. You don't need to send to a TV for them to see the need. You can see the need yourself. And if enough people would get together, unity is such a problem. You know, you think, well, my $20 won't help. But you take your 20 and somebody else's 20, you know, and you do something with the need of hunger or shelter or whatever. But I know God don't need our money, but I think He expects it.
Right, but it's our responsibility to give the need.
Right. When you said Caesar gets his part first. When I go get a paycheck, Caesar gets his, and it's way more than God expects. You know what I'm saying? What, 20, 30% or whatever? He's going to get his part first. But I like paying it on the gross, not on what I received. You know, if I got $200 and government got $50, I want to pay my tithes on that $200. Because I want God to get his before Caesar got it, even though they took it out. Right, he sent it to me. But I think He does expect us obedience, you know. I mean, God, if I don't obey Him, I know God's still going to get the need taken care of, you know.
Right.
But I think that He expects it out of us.
And that's good about
And do not look, you don't have to go too far to see the need.
When you think about what Jesus said, He said, I was hungry and you fed me not. And I was thirsty, you didn't give me a drink. And I was in prison and you didn't. He said, when was you in prison? When was you hungry? He said, when you've done the least of these, you done it to me. You know, just because they're homeless doesn't mean they're not Christian people.
Right.
Just because they're down on their luck doesn't mean they don't look to God for help. So we don't never know.
True. And that paying tithe, you know, that's the way to pay it. And it's not to robbing God. And if you're robbing God, God's not going to do business with somebody He can't trust.
Well, you have a lot of people that send their tithes into these people, and they never know what their money went on. They never know what it was used for. And it could have been used to pay one of the house payments for the house on the beach. You don't never know what it was. It may not even been used for God's service. You do not know. Well, if you give your money into a local church with local people that you know, and you know how they live, you know they don't live in some extravagant home and drive ride to church in a limousine. You know that they're not wasteful people. You know that they're frugal with God's money. Then you know you can safely give money there, and you know it'll be used for the right reason.
And I heard a brother say one time that because the people wasn't paying tithes at this place, and he said, you know, that if you can't trust your money being used the right way in that church that you're going to, that's the excuse you're using, and you need to find another church. That's what he said, you know, because if that's the reason not paying tithes, they don't trust where the money's going to be used. Well, what are they doing there?
Well,
is it really that, David, or just an excuse?
It's an excuse. They don't want to pay
but
their
you have a lot of churches as well
God's going to
that will not open the books for the church to see where the money's going either.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of distrust going on there as well. And then I've always been one that thought that the books should be open to anybody that wants to see them. If I'm putting my money in this ministry, then I should have a right to see where the money went.
Amen.
But you have a lot of churches that won't do it. They wouldn't dare Other than the treasurer and the pastor, they don't know where that money's going. They won't let nobody look in those books.
Nope.
And unless you've got something to hide, why would you keep them hidden?
Right.
That's right.
Amen?
Amen.
But I'm looking forward to this church being able to help more.
Amen.
As we give and God blesses us, give